everyone. It's been 2.5 years since I stopped dyeing my hair and let it go natural. Today I'm spilling the tea on my gray hair journey. I'll just swing around so you can have a look at my hair color. At the beginning of this whole process, when I envisioned myself with gray hair, I was thinking salt and pepper, but I definitely have salt in the front and pepper in the back. You can see here, I have a very stark line and my hair just goes completely white, and that white area frames my face all the way around. So one of my friends said to me recently, now that your hair's all grown out, do you love it? And I have to say, I'm working on it. This salty vibe that I have going on at the front has been a little bit challenging for me. So when I look face on in the mirror, all I see is white, and I actually prefer to see a little bit of the color variation that I have going on here. Also, when I pull my hair back like that, all you see is white hair, and that's taken some getting used to. So I would say, the physical process, growing my hair out to the top of my shoulders, that probably took 2 years. The mental side is definitely lagging behind, and I'm working on it. One of my friends very kindly said about this white area, oh, I love that part, it really brightens up your face. And I'm thinking that's because there's so much light reflecting off it. But in all honesty, I have found this quite challenging, this area. And I had a chat with my hairdresser about putting some low lights through there just to sort of break it up a bit. And she really encouraged me just to put that idea aside and just get used to my natural hair as it is. And actually that was really good advice, because I found over the last few months, I am feeling more and more comfortable. So we'll see. So, when you make a decision for yourself, when you know your hair's not looking its best, and for 2 years I went through that, it's not always easy. Some days you look in the mirror and you really don't feel very good about what you're seeing. It definitely teaches patience and acceptance. It's not all unicorns and rainbows for sure, but you watch that line move very, very, very slowly down the side of your head. I have to say, it's a huge relief to be on the other side of that. I'm open to possibly lowlights or highlights in the future, but I hope I never do a full head of dye again and have to go through this process, because honestly, I found it quite long, and it's not something I want to repeat. I feel like it's definitely normal, to have days where you have a bit of a wobble. And on those days, I just try to distract myself from my hair color, take myself outside my head, and just keep busy and do other things. And, that time just passes. And then the next day you get up and you're feeling okay about it. Some days you might feel like your grow out process is kind of the elephant in the room, especially when you're with a group of friends, and you might feel the need to talk about it. So I would really encourage you just to have like a couple of close friends and family that you can go to on the days where you're just lacking confidence and you need a little bit of a boost, a little bit of encouragement, and those people will provide that for you. Especially in the beginning, I would really discourage big conversations about gray hair. You'll find that some people do have very strong negative feelings about gray hair. It's not personal, it's not necessarily about my hair or your gray hair, but about gray hair in general or how it might look on them. And those feelings sometimes come out in conversation about it, and then the thoughts will stay with you and sort of play on your mind. And honestly, you don't need that when you're going through this process. And let's face it, the people in your inner circle that you really trust and are supporting you, those are the opinions that matter most to you anyway. So, I would just keep it to that. In my first video, I demonstrated a couple of very simple hairstyles that I was doing, and one of them was a hairband braid, which I continue to do, but a slight variation on that, which is a little easier, especially if you can't French braid or you find it difficult to French braid your own hair. So basically you just take, the same segment of hair. If you haven't seen my first video, I'll put the link up here so you can check it out. So basically you just part your hair across the top. I just do it with my fingers, and I just sort of judge it from experience, I guess, but you can play around with it and see what works for you. But basically, I start at one ear and just pick up a segment of hair, and instead of braiding it, I just twist it very gently. Just roll it back very gently. You don't want to put too much tension on this hair along here, so just do it very gently so that you're not pulling on the roots. And then as you move along, just pick up little segments and continue twisting. And you can do sort of 1 or 2 turns between each segment pickup, and just work your way all across the top and to the other side. So one thing that's been a really pleasant surprise to me is the encouragement and the support that I've found from younger people. If a random person compliments me about my hair color, it's almost always someone much younger than me. And for some reason, I expected more support from people in my age group or older, but that really hasn't been the case. So I've really appreciated the support, and just every now and then if somebody says something or asks me about my natural hair, it just feels very positive and encouraging, and it's been a pleasant surprise. So once I get to the other side here, I just continue twisting this a little bit, and then I'm going to put it behind my ear and just anchor it with one of these little clips that I have. And before I do that, I just kind of loosen it and sort of bump it up a little bit, and that gives my hairband a little bit of volume. So I anchor that behind with a clip, and then I leave it. And you can see the segments separate a little bit, and that was super simple and fast. And also I like this because I can see, a lot of different color variation in my hair. The white part's definitely front and center, very much on show, but I'm less self-conscious about it like this. So that's just a little tip in case you'd like to try the hairband but you're not able to braid. So in terms of the support, I have found it interesting. Like I said, I've thought a lot about this, the timing of my decision, and I do think the timing is right for me in terms of letting my hair, be natural. I was thinking, if I wait 5 or 10 more years or 20 more years, I have friends that are well into their 80s that are still dyeing their hair, and I don't want that to be me. So I think for me, the timing's right. I've been thinking that if I wait too long, I'm going to be dealing with more physical signs of aging, and also, possibly some health issues. And going through hair grow out at the same time would just be a little bit of added stress. So for me, the timing's definitely right. I think one of the big questions that comes up when we embark on this decision is, will my gray or natural hair make me look older? And honestly, I don't think I can sugarcoat this one, even for myself. I do think I'm perceived as being older with my natural hair. So, when people see me, they're not going to see my energy, my sparkle, the way I move or my health. They just see my gray and white hair, and that equates with age. So I do think with natural hair I'm going to be pigeonholed a little bit, but I'm accepting that. And I think the most age-defying thing I can do is just to focus on my health and taking good care of myself, and that's what I'm going to do. So I've also thought, very dark dyed hair against a mature complexion, that's very aging, as well as dyed hair that's not well maintained. So I just sort of keep that in the back of my mind. I did have an experience recently where I was offered the seniors discount. I didn't tell a soul. And then a couple of weeks later, I was with a group of friends, and one of them said, "You'll never guess what happened to me the other day when I was shopping. I got offered the seniors discount." And another girl said, "I did too." And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I didn't say anything about it, but I just felt, very relieved, because I thought, I don't want to look a lot older with my natural hair, but obviously, I'm happy to be in with my group of friends and peers. So that was a relief to me for sure. The other thing is, just remember, if you're on this journey and at any time you decide you want to jump off the wagon, obviously you have options, right? So, I don't think anybody should feel that the decision has to be permanent if they're not happy with it. One little thing that I do think would have been helpful to me is if I had had a chat with my hairdresser before I made this decision. I think, maybe we could have lightened my hair a little bit just so that I didn't have such a defined line of growth. At the time, my strategy was very much about avoidance. It wasn't that I thought she was going to try to talk me out of it. It was more that I was afraid I might not have the confidence to, to continue. I would have said, help, do something with this. So that I just avoided going to the hairdresser for a few months. I definitely cut my hair a little bit shorter and had, some layers. Now it's a little longer than I'd like, but I missed a hair appointment. And, that's the other thing. That's no big deal. In the past, when my hair was due to be dyed, I made my regular appointments, every 6 weeks. And I sometimes touched up my roots in between times if I needed to. But I made those appointments and I made sure not to miss them. But now, if I have to change, it's no big deal. I just let my hair grow a little longer. But I don't want to look feral, so I'm definitely going to stay on top of it. But it is a little longer, definitely, than I plan to keep it. So my hair is super soft. I feel like it's quite healthy. I have this area at the back that tends to be on the frizzy side. And I just put a little bit of conditioner on my fingers and just sort of run it through my hair and leave it on when my hair is dry. And I find that takes care of the frizzies. And I did stop using the purple shampoo because I found it quite drying. Anyway, if you're on this journey, I'm definitely here to cheer you on. And I want to thank everybody who left me comments and words of encouragement. You really spurred me on when I needed it. So that's it for me. 2.5 years. I did it. And I know you can too if you want to. Have a great day, everyone.